Dreaded Bitcoin death cross returns. Here's what happened the last time. Bitcoin has once again flashed another particularly deadly formation that often sends its price into a downward spiral. This time around, a death cross that has not been seen in the digital asset for more than 1 year has appeared again. This report takes a look at what happened the last time that this particular death cross was flagged. Bitcoin flashes rare death cross. In a post on X, formerly Twitter, pseudonymous crypto analyst Game of Trades has alerted the Bitcoin community to an interesting formation on the BTC chart. The infamous death cross appeared just as the digital asset started marking its support above $25,800, sparking interest. According to the analyst, this death cross is formed when the 50-day moving average crosses below the 200-day moving average, which took place on Wednesday, September 13th. While death crosses can appear on the charts of digital assets fairly often, this one is important due to its implications. The last time the 50-day moving average for Bitcoin had crossed below the 200-day moving average was back in January 2022. Following this formation, the price of the digital asset plunged rapidly, and by the time it was done in June, the BTC price had already lost over 60% of its value. While this could very well be the case with Bitcoin this time around, the analyst pointed out that death crosses do not always mean the price would start falling right away. There have been instances where death crosses have appeared and the asset still went on to rally a bit before eventually falling. Pointing to the times when such a thing has taken place, Game of Trades said, April 2014. Bitcoin saw upside first, followed by significant downside. Sep 2015, Bitcoin saw no major downside following the death cross. What happens to BTC if this death cross follows 2022? The price of Bitcoin is already trending low from its current level, so adherence to the January 2022 death cross would be devastating for its price. A 60% drop from the $26,300 that BTC is trading at the time of this writing would mean marking a brand new cycle bottom. However, in response to this, another crypto analyst known as @BigCheds on X points out that the death cross could be invalidated if the digital asset is able to hold above $25,000. So it is possible that nothing eventually comes of this formation, as can be the case sometimes. Even though the death cross was flagged on Wednesday, the price is still holding well above $26,300 as of Thursday morning. This could suggest that there is enough demand in the market to neutralize such a bearish formation. Will this Ripple update increase XRP's price? CTO chips in. Ripple is pushing an important upgrade to its XRP Ledger, and CTO Schwartz chips in on potential price impact. Ripple is pushing a new upgrade to its XRP Ledger that will introduce a couple of very important features. In fact, the company's CTO has on multiple occasions expressed his excitement over the upgrade and said that he's very much looking forward to it. But this has also sparked a discussion on the impact of the implementation on XRP's price. Let's dive in. What's the fuss all about? As Crypto Potato reported, Ripple is about to implement an upgrade to its XRP Ledger that will see the integration of two very important features: an automated market maker and a clawback feature. The first one is of interest for this story. The automated market maker, AMM, will be non-custodial and should be integrated as a native feature to the DEX in a way that provides increased returns to those who provide liquidity for the AMM and minimizes the risk of losses due to volatility. For the technical specifications of the upgrade, XLS30 will bring a native automated market maker to the XRPL that integrates with the existing order book DEX to enable trading of digital assets in automated liquidity pools and enable developers to address a wider audience of DeFi stakeholders. Reads the announcement. What about XRP's price? One user asked David Schwartz, the CTO of Ripple, whether this could influence Ripple's price. When AMM goes live, and a bunch of XRP holders start putting their XRP into pools, and since a lot of us only hold XRP, won't the price of XRP tank since the AMM will be selling a bunch of XRP to balance the pools out? To this, Schwartz said, it's true that if the AMM draws mainly from XRP holders, it will be a short-term net increase in selling pressure. I doubt that will be significant and might even be outweighed by people going in the other direction. The CTO also said that, in theory, the AMM should reduce the volatility by selling during price increases and buying during price decreases, essentially turning volatility into yield. Binance US lied to the court. Cochran calls out auditor in SEC battle. Adam Cochran says auditors should have no issues with Binance US books. Cochran criticized Binance over actions in the ongoing case with the SEC. The SEC recently accused Binance of non-cooperation in the ongoing probe. According to Adam Cochran, an experienced fintech executive and angel investor, Binance US is so small that the auditor should have no issues or concerns with their books. Cochran made this statement in a post criticizing the cryptocurrency exchange over actions in the ongoing case with the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. Cochran shared a post on the X app containing details of a redacted testimony by a Binance auditor. The testimony appeared to focus on SEFU, a system to which Binance rebranded its assets custody in April 2023. At the rebranding, Binance announced that the move would involve transitioning from an existing domain for Binance custody to a new one. Highlighting his displeasure, Cochran noted that Binance lied to the court. According to him, Binance's U.S. custodian was Binance International. However, he said the crypto exchange stated otherwise in an earlier statement. The experienced investor also indicated that the testimony of the external auditors is framed as auditors' concerns, which, in his opinion, is not an ideal thing to do. Cochran expressed concern over Binance's ability to manage its international business if it cannot keep the books straight at a smaller unit like the Binance US. According to reports, the SEC has recently accused Binance of non-cooperation in the ongoing probe. The SEC claimed on Thursday that by using SEFU, Binance is in breach of a previous agreement to prevent assets from being moved overseas. The SEC filed that Binance's holding entity, has not provided sufficient evidence in the probe. The regulatory body added that BAM provided only around 220 documents, most of which were unintelligible screenshots lacking dates or signatures. Binance US was accused by the SEC of offering staking, clearing, and brokerage services that violate the federal securities law of the United States. Shibarium's next milestone extends to BONE. Here's what it is. Implications for BONE and SHIB price. Since the relaunch of Shibarium, the Layer 2 scaling solution of the Shiba Inu, SHIB, meme coin ecosystem, a series of new milestones have been recorded across the board. The latest milestone has extended to BONE Shiba Swap, BONE, the de facto native token of the Shibarium protocol which, according to staking data from the official dashboard, is now pegged at 27,116,616.4317 BONE. According to current data, there are a total of 12 validators on the protocol at the moment, all of which have created a total heimball height of 576,180. Staking BONE is a way to show support for the operations of the Shibarium protocol, which operates as a full-fledged proof-of-stake network. The BONE staking milestone complements the overall daily transaction count on Shibarium which, per earlier reports, has exceeded the 200,000 mark. The signs of growing adoption of Shibarium are visible and underscored the marathon efforts by the core developer team to scale the protocol after its first failed attempt back in August. The Shibarium protocol is now meeting the expectations of both validators and the general SHIB army. Implications for BONE and SHIB price. Locking up more BONE tokens in the staking address is a solid boost to reduce the overall circulating supply of digital currency on the market. This reduced supply, possibly trailed by a growing demand, can place upward pressure on the price of digital currency. At the time of writing, BONE is changing hands at a price of $0.8184 atop a mild surge of 0.42% in the past 24 hours. While the rate of growth is still mild, the market might soon start pricing in the shrinking supply and then, more defined growth surges can be recorded. The impact on SHIB can also be quite profound as all of these fundamentals add to its impressive outlook in today's Web 3.0 ecosystem.